The problem we face right now in America is this. It's not a numbers game, meaning it's not that these people who hate the country outnumber you and I. It's not that. It's that the problems are at the very top of all of America's cultural institutions. The guy making the fries at the local burger joint, yeah, as an individual and in the eyes of God, he's just as important as anyone and whatnot. But as far as how it matters to the burger joint, he ain't as important as the manager. Yeah, it matters that your local school district is going to ban CRT, or you should get them to, that your state legislature is. But when the very tip top of all the cultural institutions still hates the country and is still pushing this filth everywhere, we still have a long, long way to go. We have a headline here from Daily Caller, quote, Biden executive order mandates divisive, unscientific race training at every level of the federal government. Here's what it's going to do, by the way. It embeds critical race theory into hiring practices and day-to-day activities. It prioritizes hiring people of color, immigrants, and LGBTQ+. It requires anti-white implicit bias diversity trainings. Yes, that's right. It now is going to prioritize hiring immigrants and people of color and LGBTQ. I don't even know how many there are now. Is the problem we have right now in the country that we don't have enough gay people in the government? That we don't have enough black people, brown people, whatever color you want to pick? Is the problem that we don't have enough immigrants in the government? Or is the problem that we have a bunch of losers in the government? It's not a problem of skin color or sexual orientation. We have a bunch of leftist scumbags in this government, and we need a lot fewer of them, or less of them. I don't know. I went to community college. I don't know words, all right? Oh, it gets worse. Hold on. The National Archives, they issued a report saying the Rotunda houses the Declaration of Independence and U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights and all those other things. It's actually an example of structural racism, saying they need to reimagine the Rotunda and eliminate trigger warnings. What does that mean? Well, let's talk about this for just a brief moment before we wrap this up. What does that mean? What do all these things mean? Trigger warnings and you know, divisive inequity and equality. And what do all these things really mean? I don't know. You don't know. But I want you to understand something. And this is critical that you understand this, otherwise you'll never get these people. They don't know either. There's not some goal these communists are going after. You must understand this. There's not a goal. I could do this story for you right now. Viacom CBS is putting out some show on Paramount Plus about they're redoing the Brady Bunch, only they're redoing it with drag queens. And I could go into that, but it's a perfect example of what I'm about to explain to you. You look at things like that, drag queens and the Rotunda and everything else, and you say to yourself, where does it end? When's it going to be enough? Well, never. The revolution never stops for communists. There's no end goal. The revolution is all the time. That's why they never defined what any of these things mean, of equality, inequity, and trigger warnings. And they don't ever give you an actual definition because they know the revolution is the goal. It must be endless. Remember, always, always, always remember. Mao had a great he called it a great cultural revolution where he killed, untold numbers of his own citizens. And he had this cultural revolution 20 years after the communists already had all the power in China. There is no end. There is just destruction and death and misery. That's all this stuff is. That's all this stuff will ever be. Don't ever let them fool you into thinking there's some goal that you need to get on board with. There's never a goal. it will never be defined for you. It must always be loose and flapping in the wind, so they always have the freedom to nudge it to the side when you think you're almost ready to grasp it. Once you understand that, it will give you a lot more peace of mind with exactly who and what you're facing out there. Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me, like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.